Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video for me. I have really been enjoying journal with me videos lately. I'll link some of my favorites that I've been really enjoying lately in the description, but I've just been feeling really inspired because I have been going through a lot of life changes lately, and I've just been needing some comfort and some joy and some peace. And so I thought it would be fun today to do a little bit of journaling with me in my Commonplace book. This video is going to be a little bit more cozy, a little bit more laid back, so please grab yourself a snack, a drink, your journal. I am drinking tea today in this adorable mug. I'm going to try to show it without spilling my tea, but it's a Sims themed mug, and it has my name on it, and then my star sign. I'm an Aries. And then it also has my personality traits that my sister picked out for me. This was a gift from my sister. Shout out to Julie. And I'm drinking today. I'm trying to use up a lot of my tea because I am moving, which is one of the things that has been causing me a lot of stress and anxiety lately. But I'm doing 2 rose teas and a blueberry tea today. So that's my mix with some almond milk. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. It's supposed to thunderstorm tonight, so my apologies if the lighting's a little bit strange in this video. But if you haven't seen my Techo Kaigi video, which I will link up in the cards right here, I talked about this book a little bit in that video. This is what I've been using for commonplacing. And this is a Franklin Quest vintage leather binder. I was definitely very influenced by Samps here on YouTube to look into getting some vintage ring binders for myself. And I found this one without all the stickers on it on, I believe, eBay for a very reasonable price. And I absolutely love the color of this binder. And I just added some Yumakirigishi like fabric stickers on the front. I love these things. They stick so well really onto anything, and they're very durable. And I tried to go with a little bit of a theme here. I tend to like to commonplace or write, about my educational interests or interest in general with tea, coffee, snacks, all that good stuff. So I picked the little tea time set, and I just think it's so beautiful, and it makes me smile when I pick up this book to use it. And then I attached this little ribbon bow to this little elastic that came from a tag from some clothing many years ago. And this is totally unnecessary. This little band doesn't do anything, except sometimes if I have a paper or something that I want to keep hold of to use for commonplacing or to have in my commonplace, it's nice to be able to stick it in there. So it actually does have some utility. But I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of a setup tour before I get into the journaling. So when you open this up, this is a personal size rings, and I definitely have had to train this to lay flat by messing with the binding a little bit, but it lays really flat now nicely. And I love how many features this binder has. It has so many little pockets and places to stick all kinds of beautiful things in it. So I have in this pocket here some just little tabs that I find really useful to help me keep track of the different sections of my book. And then I also really like using washi tape in here. So I have these 2 little washies in the front, and then I also have 2 little washi samplers in the back as well. And then I just have this little postcard here. This is an Edward Gorey poster from an Edward Gorey poster book. And I love Edward Gorey so much. I just think his art is so beautiful. I grew up reading Amphigory, if you're unfamiliar. It's a book of his works, and there are some very creepy things in that book, and I feel like it really was a big influence for me in my interests today. I feel like I have a lot of avant-garde sort of creepy interests, and I just love this art. Look at this. Isn't that just stunning? I love it. So I like to keep these in this pocket for a little bit of decoration and inspiration. And then here I have a little Snoopy pen. I picked these up from Jet Pens a little while ago, and this one has lots of little desserts and a cute little Snoopy on it. And this has orange ink in it, so I've been having fun experimenting with that orange ink. And then I also have these two little guys. These are Stabilo markers, pens. I don't really know what you would call these, but they're in a fine nib, so 0.4 millimeter. And they're in this really beautiful gray color and this really beautiful brown color. And I just wanted to experiment with a little bit of a different writing experience, and I really love the color of these. So I've been using these in here to write some of my entries. And then in the back, I have this beautiful postcard from Claire Rosen, who I've talked about previously on this channel in my art planner video. And this is one of her works with birds and the wallpaper in the background. And then I have a bunch of her cards also in the back here, if I can get these out. These are a bunch of like full cards. And I just think they're beautiful. And at some point, hopefully, I will be able to send these to people potentially in Happy Mail. That is my hope. And then I also have this really cool little envelope maker. So I've been keeping a lot of my like Happy Mail supplies in here. And also I just really love having these little beautiful pieces of things, you know, tucked away in my systems. It makes them feel so much more joyful to use. And then I just have this little pocket back here with, this is meant for washi tape, but I never filled it up. So I just have that in here in this little pocket, which I'm not sure what I'm going to use this pocket for yet, but I have it just in case. And then we get to the front. So I have this beautiful picture of my mom and I when I was a kid here. And then I also have some little Post-it note samples. And then this is a beautiful work of art by a local artist in my area. And I use that as a little dashboard as well for some Post-it notes. And then this I really like having in here because this is a sort of real life commonplacing that I did, where I found this beautiful quote in this book when I was in New York with my partner earlier this year. We went to this really cool bookstore and I found this awesome book that had lots of pictures of people's like life spaces, like their offices and bedrooms and where they lived, and they were just so genuine and so teeny tiny, and it was just a beautiful photo book. I love photography and photo books, so I kept that quote and then I took a picture of it and I printed it out and I put it right in here. I have that here and then some more Post-it notes. And then my first section here is my comfort journal commonplacing. So if you haven't seen my video about my comfort journal, let me actually go grab it. It's across the room. Give me one moment. This is my comfort journal and it's a little bit sandy because I brought it to the beach, and she's gotten a little bit of a facelift because I recently got the Pilot Dr. Grip gel pen. On JetPens, they have these beautiful new ones in this really beautiful blue color. And they take a G2 refill, but they're a little bit nicer, which is really nice. Don't get me wrong, I love my G2 pen bodies, but I actually purchased this because my G2 pen, the clip had fallen off. And so I was like, well, let me try an upgrade. This is my comfort journal, and I use this book to write about my emotions, my feelings, what I'm experiencing, to help me process what I'm feeling and what I'm going through in life. And I recently finished up one of these. This is my second one. And I wanted to commonplace it because that book is kind of chaotic. Let me grab that book as well. Here's my original one. Very beat up, but it's kind of hard to get anything from this because it's so disorganized. I didn't have an organization system when I wrote this. So I decided I wanted to commonplace it and record all of the things that I had tabbed as like important or, you know, things of note into here. So this is the main thing that I've been doing in this book. It's something that's quite easy to do. It doesn't take that much mental effort, but I'm also getting to reflect on, you know, things that I wrote about in the past, things that mattered to me in the past, things that I was thinking about, and I can keep them, a record of them, and keep them more organized. So I made a little margin with this. Oh, actually, it's not in here. Let me grab it. I have this little metal ruler that I keep with this system as well. So I use this to draw some margins, and I used a pink Tombow because my book is pink. to create these margins, and then I would write the date that I wrote the thing and then what kind of thing it was. So I have therapy notes, I have realizations in processing, I have quotes, I have, I think, some, what do I have? Memories as well, some doodles, things like that, just things that I wanted to keep. And I also actually have a couple pages from my book in here. I have this one from this day, and then I also have this page from the back where I was experimenting with these stamps that Luke got for me that I really loved. And then I also was playing with like sticking some things in here. These were actually taken from this newspaper right here that I got when I was in Tombstone, Arizona with my family. It's just a super cool newspaper with lots of little like pictures and clippings and things. And I really want to, I have so much ephemera, like booklets and things that I've received like in the mail and that I've gotten while I've been traveling, and I've just accumulated all of these like bits and pieces of things, and I really want to use these more. Even little things like this, like little mailers that you get from advertisements, but also things like this from Philly Art Museum. So I've just collected all of these things, and I really want to try to use them more like as decoration because there's so many beautiful elements in there. So I included those here as well. But yeah, so this is my comfort journal processing stuff. And then here with this picture of my mom and my gran and I think this is me. I'm pretty sure that's me. I have my family interviews. So I have been embarking on this project to do interviews of my family members. And I found this great list from this website, AmericanAncestors.org. I will put that in the description of this video. But I just had such a wonderful time. All of these pages here are pages that I did while I was in Seattle interviewing my aunt. And then I'm going to interview my mom next. So I'm really excited about that. I'm actually going to be visiting her this weekend. So I'm hoping to do that this weekend. And then my last little section that I have is my more typical kind of commonplacing stuff. So I have a media log full of stuff, a lot of video essay information. This is from a great video by Iman about her analog journaling ecosystem, where she uses this like quadrant system, which I think as we're going into, you know, closer to the end of the year and I'm thinking about what I want to do for my ecosystem, I'm going to potentially use this. So I wanted to write it down. And this was actually something that I had written about in March in my comfort journal. So I actually put it in this section. And then this is more, ephemera from Tombstone, from the newspaper. But then here I wrote, there's this great YouTube video that I watched from this great creator that I hadn't heard of before. Her name is Earthling Z. And she made a video called The Bittersweet Feeling of Finishing a Journal. And there were just so many beautiful quotes in that book. And I was feeling very inspired after watching it. So I wrote about that here. And I would like to write more stuff about media that I watch, you know, videos and things. That was really my intention for this section. I think at some point I would like to make a media journal, like specifically for movies and TV and reading. But yeah, so this is maybe the beginnings of that idea. And then in the back, I have the section that I want to work on today, which these are like special interests that I've cultivated that I know I want to write about more. So today I'm going to be writing about the Enneagram, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so that I can get my book in here. I'm actually thinking I might start this journaling session by writing a little bit in my comfort journal, because typically in my journaling routine, what I do is I always start by writing in here, sort of getting some of my thoughts out of my system and like centering myself, and then I start writing in my other books. So I think I'm going to try that today. Okay, I feel pretty good about that entry. I think we're just gonna call that a chat. It's not really quite full processing feelings. It's not really quite, well, it could be a daily reflection. Maybe we'll do that as a daily reflection. I'm still like adjusting to this categorization system, so as time goes on, I might be able to be a little bit more pinpointed about it, but sorry if the audio wasn't so great there for a second. I really wanted to get some nice scratchy writing sounds if possible. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit more grounded and ready to delve into my commonplace. So I'm going to get these guys set up back in here, and we're going to write a little bit of an entry. Hello everybody. I thought I would do a little bit of a voiceover for this part of the video because I'm spending a long time doing a lot of writing, and I thought it would be nice to see if a voiceover would be something that people like, or if you prefer the music and the writing sounds by themselves. But really, I wanted to talk to everybody, and first of all, just thank everybody who has decided to watch my videos and, shared a part of their day with me, and who has left so many sweet comments and feedback for me. And I really am just amazed by the response to my videos so far. I really thought no one was going to watch any of my videos, and I'm just really grateful. So thank you so much for being here and for watching my videos and being so kind. I really fundamentally believe, and I know this is a very controversial opinion, but I really do believe that everybody is just doing their best, and everybody is just trying to get, by and get through in life, doing the best they can. But every time I, come on here or I talk to people in this community, I am just even more sure of that, because the people are so kind here. And so thank you so much. I'm very new to journaling and the journaling world, but I'm very happy to be here. And especially now with a lot of chaos going on in my life, it's really been something so grounding for me and something that's kept me so steady and been a constant when a lot of things are changing. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot going on. The main thing is that I'm moving, which is a big stressor for sure. But I feel like I've kind of been beating myself up a little bit because I feel like I should be so excited moving in with my partner, and I've never lived with a partner before, so this is my first time doing this, and I'm so excited, but I also am really nervous about the move itself and the logistics and about the change and what it'll feel like, and also saying goodbye to the place I live now where I've lived for a really long time. And I feel like I've done so much growing here. When I moved here into Philly, into the city, I was like mid-20s and just kind of figuring out who I am. And I feel like I'm kind of saying goodbye to that part of me, which is very bittersweet. So I'm just feeling a lot of things, and then I'm also stressed. And then the new school year is starting, which I'm really excited about, and I'm eager to get into because I can struggle sometimes in the summers. I really thrive on structure, which if you haven't seen my previous video where I do talk about my personal curriculum, you can probably tell that I'm very much a person who loves structure, because that curriculum is very, very structured. But I'm excited to be back into the hang of things, but I'm also nervous, and it's going to be a big shift from the summer and from spending so much time doing my creative pursuits and, making videos. So I'm anxious about that. And then also with the fall coming, I have a seasonal affect disorder. I don't know if anybody else struggles with that as well, but I get nervous when the fall comes. because I know it's going to start getting darker, and I start getting anxious about knowing that I'm going to struggle with feeling not as great. So there's just kind of a lot of things going on, and if any of you are feeling stressed or anxious, please know you're not alone. I really want to try to be as authentic as possible on this channel. I really love making videos that are very like edited and put together and, you know, expressing myself in that way, but I also really want to try to come on here and be honest and be myself and be vulnerable and talk about what I'm experiencing and what I'm going through, because I know me also, like, I'll watch people on YouTube and I'll compare myself to them, or I'll think, you know, they are so put together and they have got it all figured out, and I don't at all, or I don't feel like I do. And I just hope that when people watch my channel, they can see somebody genuine, somebody real, somebody who is not perfect, who is learning a lot of things, trying to learn a lot of things, trying to get better at a lot of things, and has a lot of ways in which they can improve artistically and otherwise. And so that's really my goal with this channel, and to connect with all of you wonderful, wonderful people. So I hope you're all doing really well, and please let me know in the comments what you're doing while you're watching this video or listening to this video. I would love to hear if you have a commonplace, how it's been going for you. Any tips or advice would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, just thank you so much for watching and listening. And yeah. So if any of you are curious about what I'm writing about here, I'm writing about something called the Enneagram, which is a personality test. And growing up, when I was younger, my mom, she loved talking about the people in our family and the dynamics of our family, like our extended family too, and just talking about why people behave the way they did, like why they made the choices they made, and thinking about their family life and their background in a very like family history sort of way, like trying to unpack and decode other people. I really love understanding people and thinking about, you know, why they act the way they do and how they were raised and the world that they lived in when they were younger, and how that led to them developing into the person that they are, into the, you know, personality that they have. And so Enneagram was something that my parents both were really interested in, and that they like passed down to me as an interest. And so I really have been getting more and more into Enneagram as I've gotten older. And now I try to figure out the Enneagram type of everybody around me in my life. It really helps me to have more empathy for other people and see the similarities that I have with people rather than all the differences. It's really led to a lot of personal growth for me in my life. So I really love the Enneagram. I really love personality tests in general, but I've really like glommed onto the Enneagram because I find it's like it really cuts at the core of you. The Enneagram, rather than the Myers-Briggs, which is another personality test that a lot of people are probably familiar with, the Enneagram looks more at your core fears and core desires. It gets a little bit more to like the heart of you as a person. And so, for example, I'm a type 2 in the Enneagram. It focuses on the core fear of being unlovable and the core desire of being loved. And I find that really rings true for me. And I think a lot of the things that I've done in life, a lot of the issues that I've had have really focused around that, you know, fear and desire. And I think typing yourself in the Enneagram really requires a really deep understanding of yourself and your motivations in life, and, you know, why you do the things you do. And so it's hard sometimes to type people if they're not, you know, aware of those kinds of things. I will leave in the description a test for you to take, the best free test that I've found. There aren't that many good free ones, but take the test, see if it resonates with you. You know, you could do some research about the types if you're interested. But yeah, I try to type everybody in my life, and it's really interesting, and I don't know, I'm really interested in it. I'm really passionate about it. I want to keep learning about it, and so that's why I've decided to include it in my commonplace book, and especially right now with all the stress going on, I found it's been really fun to just get to sit down and like delve deep into something that I'm really passionate about and that I think about all the time, and that really like has shaped my, you know, framework for how I look at the world. So I've really been enjoying it. Please, in the comments below, leave your Enneagram type if you know yours, or if you have any other personality tests that you like. Like I said in the video, I really want to learn more about the Big Five. I know that one's like the most scientifically validated one, so I'm really interested to learn more about that one. But yeah, I think I will leave it there. Thank you so much for listening to my little voiceover. Let me know what you thought, and let's get back to the rest of the video. Okay, I think that's where I'm going to leave it off for now, because I think I'm starting to lose all of the light, but I think I got some good bits started here. Please let me know what you were doing during this video, what kinds of things you like to commonplace about. And thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me, and I hope you have a great one. Till next time, bye-bye.